All right, hello everyone, and now welcome to, game 2 in a series between WFZ and Czech. Czech spawning as the yellow night elf over here at what I will call the 3 o'clock position of Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, a hop, skip, and a jump away, we have WFZ spawning as the pink undead. For all of you guys who are watching this series and going, wait a second, I'm subscribed, I don't see a game number 1, what happened? Well, game number 1 was played on Tyrannus Stand, and I don't know the results. Unfortunately, yeah, I don't know the results of game number 1. I can't seem to play that one particular replay at all. There's a incorrect map version, and trying to navigate through the site is a little bit too difficult for me. Maybe if I do get it a little bit later, I might cast it. But then again, this is a best of 5 series, and well, I have games 2 through 5. So you guys are going to see 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow, and well, nothing will really be spoiled. All right, let's go ahead and take a look out across here. You can see the ghoul now wandering around is going to go ahead and check to see whether or not his opponent has spawned here. It is going to be a Demon Hunter versus most likely a Death Knight matchup once more. It doesn't look like we are going in for Crypt Fiends. Instead, we are going to be opening up with early ghouls. Ghouls being very, very powerful in this matchup, as those archers do tend to fall apart rather fast to that normal damage, especially because of the additional movement speed coming across from the Death Knight's unholy aura. Now, Ancient of War doing what it does best right now, warring on those turtles. As we're going to see, the Demon Hunter will be popping out right there. There you have it. The Demon Hunter going to come in, get engaged, and now finish off the remaining units. Demon Hunter does get the final kill off there. Excuse me. As the Demon Hunter now goes after this last sea turtle hatchling. Out there, I believe there's a way to localize the NetEase client into English. But if you guys are a long-time WarCraft 3 fan, you guys most likely already know what is going down here. Anyways, Death Knight wandering around right now does have that unholy aura, will be able to outrun all of those units and pick up 2 additional skeletal minions as it tries to run about. Those skeletal minions will be there to try and put pressure on these Wisp. The Wisp will then begin to start playing whack-a-mole against the remaining units. Is it going to be able to finish it off? No, that one Wisp able to jump inside right off there. As you can see, more and more damage trying to come across. All right, Wisp trying to pull away. Is that Demon Hunter going to get that kill? Yes, he will. Getting in a little bit more experience. As Czech, well, looking to just defend his base right now. A sea of ghouls now coming back in from the north, and it looks as though WFZ is going to be putting on the pressure. Gets another pair of skeletal minions that do deal more damage than those ghouls. They are a bit more fragile though, as there are now 3 archers out onto the field. That Ancient of War did end up rooting itself, and the Death Knight, importantly, does not have Dust of Appearance. Without Dust of Appearance, those archers will be able to shadow meld and ending up trying to play a game of whack-a-mole against all of those units, as the Death Knight is attempting to save that one low hit point ghoul. Those ghouls should be backing off. The Demon Hunter could try and waste time chasing that one ghoul. It will take an additional 2 shots, and instead the Demon Hunter going to use that opportunity to try and pick up some boots of speed. The ghouls now making their way off to the north, trying to catch up to those archers. Demon Hunter does have those boots of speed, has those gauntlets of ogre strength +3, and what is going to be happening next for that follow-up play? Skeletal minions, as the Death Knight may be coming across all these units here. Skeletal minion down to 55 hit points, down to 23. It looks like he will end up surviving, as WFZ gives up the chase before it really begins. Now, he's going to be going after all of these creep camps here. Demon Hunter could try and steal some of this experience off, or just get some easy damage there. Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 picked up. Death Knight now just needs to finish off the remainder of these Sea Turtle hatchlings and pick up another Rod of Necromancy. That Rod of Necromancy, getting those skeletal minions out early on, it does tend to overwhelm a Night Elf player who doesn't want to train that many units from the Ancient of War. Archers really do not move well into the mid game at all, and they do tend to fall apart, especially if your opponent is going very, very heavy ghouls. Back off to the north, Demon Hunter expecting to see the Death Knight still trying to get to level 2. Instead, WFZ opting to try and put a little bit more pressure by clearing out his opponent's green creep camps, his side of the map, picking up another hopefully useful item and getting to level 2 this way. There's level 2. What is the item? Slippers of Agility. Not going to be that helpful. Only +9 additional armor. Effectively 6% more hit points as the skeletal minions gets cleaned up in the center portion of the map. Archers are here. We can see the tech to tier 2 is nearly completed as the Death Knight now with Naga Sea Witch going to be venturing forth. All right, back across here. Demon Hunter still sitting at level 1. He's going to be in a little bit of a problem as we could start seeing some cold arrows. Cold arrows coming across. Demon Hunter getting in, trying to do some juking. This is going to be very, very bad right here. Is the Demon Hunter going to be able to get away? Yes, he will. Good back and forth juking on that Demon Hunter. However, the Naga Sea Witch is still right there. A little bit of it missing right there as you see the evasion has been teched. The Demon Hunter does have a little bit more hit points with that effective evasion as the Death Knight now going after these archers. Death Knight, however, does not have Dust of Appearance, so he will not be able to easily finish off these archers, especially as those archers are going to be drinking a bit of Moonwell juice. Back across over here is a ghoul. No killer there. Naga Sea Witch still has not done that much damage. Slippers of Agility have been added in, as well as the Death Knight now heads back off to the north. Demon Hunter once again runs into a Naga Sea Witch. Does not want to see this. And what a difference 20 experience makes. If that Demon Hunter had 20 more experience, you know for a fact that the Demon Hunter would not be having this problem. He would just mana burn off all of the mana from that Naga Sea Witch, deal damage, and then continue to move on. Double Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3. That Naga Sea Witch now up to 625 hit points. Could give that to the Death Knight, who would then end up being at 825, dealing 6 points of additional damage. As we're looking at, well, the archers going after here. Ancient of War trying to tank a little bit of damage. Death Knight is still right here, and you can see that this Demon Hunter is going to be taking a lot of damage once again. This is just not looking good. There goes a sea turtle, a giant sea turtle there, as we're looking at the Ancient of War just absorbing much more damage than it should. The Death Knight just nearby. Naga Sea Witch now being backed up by the obsidian statues, and with the Demon Hunter just now getting to level 2 at the 7-minute 40-second mark, that is just not going to be good news at all. Alright, Demon Hunter will finally be able to use those mana burns, but how effective is it going to be? The Death Knight playing a very, very strategic game, making sure to use those death coils now and early so that it doesn't get mana burned off later. That ends up becoming a bit more of an issue as the Death Knight about halfway to level 3 already and could perhaps be going after the remainder of these units. Crypt Fiend is in position. The Crypt Fiend could have started melting away those Dryads as the archers and Naga Sea Witch look to back off. Demon Hunter could come across with a mana burn. And we're taking a look at what's going to be happening here. There in comes the damage. Are the units going to get mana burned? Here's the big question. Demon Hunter now trying to engage. Death Knight gets mana burned right there. Still has plenty of mana though. Could try to get a death coil off onto that ghoul. Or nope, saves the Crypt Fiend instead. As you see all of that damage just poking onto that Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend now in dangerous trouble. Gonna get taken down. There it goes, as the ghouls should have just tried to engage earlier. Demon Hunter now down to 262 hit points. Staff of Preservation saves a unit. Naga Sea Witch now trying to back away as the Lich is now out. Frost Nova and a 7 hit point Scroll of Town Portal, making it ever so clear that evasion does make a difference. Now, is the Death Knight going to be able to clear out this creep camp during this time? Naga Sea Witch is in the back. He needs to get healed up. We need to see mana and hit points, both, in order to keep these units alive and ticking. Ogre Magi should get taken down here fairly fast. The remainder of the ghouls, there it goes, as the Ogre Magi does end up falling. Manual of Health picked up by the Demon Hunter. Yes, Frost Nova, Death Coil, Cold Arrows, not going to be enough. Let's see where that Demon Hunter is going to be going next. Down to, what, 217 hit points. There's the mana burn. Demon Hunter almost, or getting higher and higher up. Dryads now getting picked apart, though, as the Ancient of War has regenerated a bit more hit points. Staff of Preservation saving the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter now looking to back off. You can see what is going on here. Going after some other units as the Dryads are trying to do a little bit more picking. Death Knight sitting at level 2, a second Obsidian statue now, as that is going to start spelling some problems as well. Destroyer going to be going after some of those units. There goes a mana burn. Level 3 now on the Death Knight. Death Knight could get a level 2 Death Coil off. Save, no! Does not save the Crypt Fiend. Wastes the mana, and now we see bears that, well, could have been taken down a little bit earlier. Death Knight sitting at 43 mana right now. Potion of Greater Invulnerability. Or excuse me, Potion of Invulnerability, 15 seconds, not the 25. Well, that's a Potion of Divination, I believe, actually, the 25 version. So yeah, Potion of Invulnerability. There. All right, Dryads ready to go. You see one Destroyer up in the air. A second Obsidian statue is being added here. We are also looking at a Sacrificial Pit 10-11 minutes into this game. And still we are about neck and neck as the bears are out on the field with 2 or 0-0 upgrades. What is the follow-up play going to be? Lich needs mana and needs it badly. Destroyer up there as well. Death Knight purposely pulling back these creeps here as the Demon Hunter is going to try to come off and engage. Plus 11 damage. And there you go. Gargantuan Sea Turtle. A little bit of damage coming across on both sides. Demon Hunter going to get a mana burn off. Frost Nova Death Coil straight up as the Demon Hunter now tries and runs. Bear gets taken down. Devour Magic, what's happening? Potion of Healing saves the Demon Hunter, but how long will it last? The bears are very, very deep here. Are they going to end up getting destroyed? No. Staff of Preservation beautifully used again, and that cooldown just seems so fast as you see another Staff of Preservation saving. All right, Scroll of Healing could be used up. There you go. All of a sudden, all those low hit point units turned back into stronger units again as the Naga Sea Witches needs to, well, where is the Naga Sea Witch? Right there. All right, Lich now up to level 2. Frost Nova there trying to slow down a bear. Are we going to see another Staff of Preservation? No, you are not. There goes another bear as we see an Archer, well, just a bit too far as well. Dryads trying to engage. Demon Hunter almost taken down to 62 hit points before it heals back up. Death Knight going to continue to grow in strength as more and more experience is going to be given here. We need Potion of Mana or Essence of Mana and Essence of Blight to heal this undead army. The heroes are relatively low on hit points, or, well, some of the units were low on hit points. Obsidian statues are lower on hit points. Only thing that can heal them is that Unholy Aura right now, as we're looking at, well, and attempting to clear out the Ogre Lord creep camp. Demon Hunter trying to make ground on some of that lost experience. He sees the army incoming. There goes the Ogre Lord. Potion or Claws of Attack plus 12. Very, very high damage indeed as the Destroyers are now just taking so much damage again. All right, Staff of Preservation saves the day once more. Shade is right there, keeping track of that army as you see more damage being dealt across the board. Where are the units going? Death Knight still sitting at 3. Naga Sea Witch getting to 3. Lich still sitting at 2. Level 2 versus a level 3, level 2. Definite hero advantage there for WFZ. Czech seems to be holding on barely, but what does the supply count show? 45 compared to 58. That does seem to be the case as the, well, all of a sudden these Obsidian statues need to back off. There goes an Ancient of Wind quickly taken down. There goes some, well, there goes 2 ghouls. That quickly gets flipped right there as the Demon Hunter now trying to make up some lost ground. 48 over 50 compared to 54 over 70. Another Obsidian statue being added. Frostworms being added as well. And that one Frostworm could be the difference right there. Naga Sea Witch now looking to pull back here. Lich is in position, looking to finish off this Gargantuan Sea Turtle. It will give what I call a tier 2 consumable. Either Potion of Greater Healing, Potion of Greater Mana, Potion of Invulnerability, or Scroll of the Beast. Is one of the wind in that category? Well, let's take a look. It is going to be one of mana stealing, so one of the wind could be in that category as well. Stealing mana away from that Demon Hunter, only to give it to yourself, can come back to haunt you depending on the amount of mana is available. The Demon Hunter at maximum mana, so no real reason to steal a mana from there. All right, level 3 on the Naga Sea Witch now, and it is going to end up finding his opponent creeping, and that is going to be bad news there. Dryad now pulling off. Let's take a look. There is a shade keeping track. Was not engaged just quite yet, as the Demon Hunter most likely going to get Staff of Preservation to back out of a bad situation. No, not engaged. Frostworm stays alive. Demon Hunter is still in that front line. Scroll of Town Portal, Staff of Preservation. Dryad gets taken down. Crypt Fiend gets taken down, as there's an even exchange there once more. Frost Nova finishes off a wisp there. Death Knight now comes across to engage, going straight after the Forest Troll Warlord and putting himself into harm's way. Big damage coming across now from that Frostworm. Finishing off the remainder of the units, we still see a lot of mana on the 2 fresh obsidian statues. Meanwhile, 1 obsidian statue gonna get low. Perhaps it will end up becoming a destroyer here in just a moment, but there is already a lot of magic damage. Let's take a look at this. Frostworm now gonna try and come and engage. There goes all the units there. Death Knight now trying to head off to the north. Hippogriffs are here. Web now quickly bringing those down. 2 Frostworms trying to engage Death Knight. And you can see Frostworm and Fork Lightning, or yeah, just doing so much damage, finishing up. Double stabs of preservation, but the bears will finally end up falling, as does the Naga Sea Witch, as WFZ takes game number 2. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.